Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be an analysis of some of the more popular futures markets out there for traders. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, one quick clarification. I'll be using the 1 hour time frame. So if you're new to charts, what that means is each one of these candlesticks here, as they're called, represents 1 hour's worth of time. So first market we're going to start at is the NQ. And as a reminder, if you only trade the MNQ, then the same general ideas what I talk about here can be applied, because remember, they do mirror one another. So sure, I'm not talking about the MNQ, but I am in an indirect sense. So right off the get-go, and this will mean more to those that have watched past videos, but you know that I've been talking about that 955 mark as a key area of resistance. And once again, the price tried, made a slight little movement and above there, and then just, wow, things got nasty, and a big pullback, down it went. So from the resistance standpoint, 955, still a very, very key level moving into the next session now. And yeah, it's been extremely stubborn. Going back to the history of things, you can see that, you know, this is not the first time the price has been up there, right there. Basically did the same thing. Slight little break above, and then boom, down it went. So keep an eye on that moving forward into into the next week, as that'll be the main dynamic here. But actually, before you put really too much emphasis on doing battle, once again, with that as an area of resistance, first key battleground from a resistance standpoint is going to be that purple line there, which is the very well-known 50-period moving average. And current value of that is at 790. But again, that is a moving average, so that'll change. So keep an eye out for that as the initial area of resistance before you put too much emphasis there up on the 955 mark. In terms of areas of support, right now, all eyes on that pink line there, the famous 200-period moving average. So not a coincidence that after this big old move downwards, the price is starting to kind of get some choppiness and sideways action right there around that pink line, because again, that is a 200-period moving average, so not guaranteed to hold as support, but so far so good, and that'll be a big dynamic. Now, in the event that level ultimately does not quite hold up, next key potential area of support and bounce point down there right around that area of 430. So 21,430 potential next area of support if the price continues on down. And I suppose I should map out one more just in case things get really crazy, because I mean, it is the NQ. And the next level of support, if that level can't quite hold up, would then be down there around the 243 mark. So keep an eye on those couple of areas of support heading into the next session. But yeah, brutal rejection off that area. So next week taking shape to be quite interesting. Next one here, taking a look at the ES. And yes, another very rough day on this one. And the main dynamic here that really kind of spurred things was the break of this trend line, which I had put into play. And we've been tracking that over the past several sessions. But price came down here, did break through there, and that really opened up the floodgates quite a bit as things continued on down. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level as it served its purpose for now. And this one's a little different than the NQ, because remember, the NQ was at least stuck. It was right around that pink line here. Not so with the ES. The ES has not only just blasted down through the 50-period moving average, that purple line, but as you're seeing here, it is now separated quite a bit. So this is what I would call a full-blown break. NQ, again, it's still well within the range. So moving into next week, I mean, there is clearly a lot of downwards pressure, and it's really just a question of how much downwards pressure is going to show up. Now, maybe there isn't anymore, and it starts to bounce back upwards. Any sort of bounces now has quite a few hurdles it's going to need to get up through. So the first hurdle for the bulls right there, the 200-period moving average, and then the second hurdle up there, that 50-period moving average. And then, yes, you have these highs and then the level up there. But I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. So let's just first see, can the price even get up through those areas on any sort of attempted bounce. And then as far as areas of support are concerned, if this downwards movement continues, next key potential area of support right here at, actually now that I'm looking at this, I'm going to call this more of a support zone. So top part of the zone right there at 29, and then bottom part of the zone right there at 1950. So this little area right here, I could see, providing an area where some buyers show up. If the price does not hold up through there and pushes down, then at that point you could very well be headed down to this area of the chart below the 6,000 mark. So definitely a bearish movement today. Now it's just a question of, can there be any sort of movement, or is this bear flag ultimately going to get more push to the downside? We'll see what happens. Next one here, taking a look at the Dow Jones via the YM, and overall this trend line has been obliterated, so we'll get rid of that. And now the price is coming very close to this area that I talked about in the previous video at the 350. So never quite hit 350, but it's getting close. So you're going to want to keep a very close eye on that in terms of areas of support. In the event that level does not hold up, then yeah, things could start to get sketchy in a hurry, because the next level of support would not be until essentially down here at all these lows at the 44,000 mark. So now I want to be very clear. I'm not saying that if the price does break down below there within, an hour, the price is going to be down around there. I'm just saying that looking back through the history of the chart, there just aren't any other suggestions of where some potential bounce points could be. So there is certainly a bit of a window here that could produce and start to create more downside bearish pressure. But to be fair, so far so good. The price has not only not tested 351, it's maintained above it. Now, in the event there's any sort of upwards bounce, then like a lot of these other ones, NQ, ES, it's really just about the moving averages at this point. They had been areas of support, and then just basic technical analysis. When levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So in any sort of bounce, first key area of resistance to watch would be that pink line, followed by that purple line up there, the 50-period moving average. But as right now, in my opinion, at least the most interesting dynamic is how much more downwards pressure is going to show up, or is this thing getting ready to bounce back up and maybe form some sort of longer-term sideways channel? That remains to be seen. But yeah, definitely a very bearish way to close out the week. We are now moving markets, and we're going away from the indices here and just going to look at oil, specifically crude, so CL, and been tracking this one quite a bit. And nothing really new here to report for those of you that have watched the past videos. It's going to be a broken record. The key area of resistance has been that purple line there, 50-period moving average. And yeah, surprise, surprise, you can just see that the price just gets hung up in that area and just cannot quite get any sort of separation. Now, at least it's been able to push up through there. Right there, the price couldn't push up through at all. That was a flat-out rejection. Same with back here. But nonetheless, that's still providing a very sticky area where the price just cannot really build any sort of upside momentum. Even if the price does get up through there, I mean, that's a good thing, don't get me wrong. But the next area of resistance and the next potential pretty big problem point is this resistance line up here that we've had in a play over the past several sessions. But as of now, somewhat irrelevant because it's still got a ways to go before potentially doing battle with it. As far as areas of support are concerned, it's trying to hold up here, but in all actuality, I'm going to get rid of that because I think the level that a lot of people will be watching, especially the shorts, looking to potentially put on another bearish-sided trade, is going to be that trend line right there. Now, no guarantees, but certainly more than valid to think that the price were to come down there and break down through there, that break could create additional buying pressure and then send in another round of bearish momentum. So we'll see what happens with it, but yeah, the overall downtrend in crude continues. Now moving into the precious metals and gold just continues to be all over the place, but now some technicals are starting to hold strong, so I'm going to get rid of that level. And the main area, it's not exact, but this area that I've been talking about right here around 903 has not provided exact resistance, but you can see right here, got above it, down it went. And then recently, got above it, down it went. So I'm going to make a slight adjustment and call this area of resistance now right up here at the 906 mark. But point here is that maybe gold has finally found an area that it's just going to take more work to get through. But I mean, it's been on such a rip anyways. But anyways, 906 in my mind, newest kind of level that's really revealed itself as being a potential problem point here for the bulls if there is going to be any sort of continued upside pressure. And then as far as areas of support are concerned, I do want to get a trend line into place because I could play, actually, as I just looked here. There we go. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm trying to fit a square peg through a round hole. Let's see what happens. Oh no, I can live with that. That's an interesting line. So again, green, then we'll make it a little bit stand out. So that's going to be the initial area of support. Overall trend line here that's been doing a pretty good job. If the price were to come down to there and then break down through it, again, no guarantees, but I think more than valid to think that the price could make its way to at least go down to there, that 856 mark, which I've talked about in past videos. And then, of course, from the overarching standpoint, you'll want to watch that pink line right there, 200-period moving average, as it continues to make its way upwards. But all in all, gold still remains very strong, but I really think we now have a couple of well-identified levels, namely the 906 mark, and then that trend line right there in combination with the 856 mark. So we'll see how the next session plays out. So that wraps up the analysis, and before I go, I do want to encourage you to get signed up or at least give a try for the prop firm and futures that I've been using, really enjoying, and maybe you already saw the link at the top of the page the entire time, but that is Take Profit Trader. So make sure you use the link there, claytrader.com/Take Profit, because that'll ensure you get the best deal possible. As we're always running promotions right now, accounts are 50% off. So if you use that link, that'll get you 50% off the prices that would normally be. And then they are open to everybody around the world, except if you see your country on that list, unfortunately, they would not be open to you. So for those of you that are international traders and looking to access the USA markets, Assuming your country is not on that list, then this would be an option for you to do that. So thank you for watching. Again, if you want to support the channel, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, or better yet, use that link, because that is an affiliate link. So yes, I will get something, but you'll also get a good deal. So just keep that in mind. So thanks for watching, everybody. Take care and have a great weekend.